The living room, where the family meets to discuss issues, any issue which may be bothering one of the family members. That's what we do each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM with Ricardo Mitchell and DJ Aaron 868. We have casual conversations on serious topics, from sports to culture, mental health to economics, relationships to life lessons. Join us each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM. The Living Room, casual conversations on serious topics.
It is currently a couple minutes after 6 p.m. here in Trinidad and Tobago. And your birthday was like a couple months ago or something like that?
You know, I got for my birthday a roti. So he's my big man.
So next year birthday, we could move on to our watch.
No, what a roti again.
All right, cool. It is currently a couple minutes after 6 p.m. here in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know what time it is where you are, but I'm glad to know you're locked onto the True Nation Station, WACK 90.1 FM, where we are
culture crazy.
First and foremost, let's kick it off as we always do, all right? Must give thanks and praises to the Almighty for granting us the gift of life and seeing another day. No matter what time of day it is, you must always
give thanks.
Secondly, we must say thank you to those that went before us, and we're not just talking about the ancestors, the Tainos and the Kalinagos, the original inhabitants of Trinidad and Tobago, because we all know and have come to accept and openly admit that Columbus has lied. But also to our brother in music, Tony Prescott. The P this week stands for
post-colonial.
Do you want to elaborate now or you want to elaborate later down in the program?
Well, 60 coming up now. 60 coming up. Kind of wondering how far forward we've gone from that position.
Okay. All right, so we'll save that for later down in the show, Ricardo.
All right.
Because we have formats to follow. And the fact that we have had, I think it's about 8 weeks of guests. It's been a while since we properly hung our hat and wiped our feet. And also, we'll kick off today's program a little different. I want to ask you, Ricardo, first and foremost, how are you?
You want the good by the grace of God answer, or you're really looking for the action?
No, this is where I had a buff here. Because when we ask our guests, how are you? We never ask for a generic answer.
No, remember the program only an hour long too, eh?
Oh gosh, Wadi, and you tend to be a little long-winded / context creating.
Don't know how long-winded is the term what I use, but I am not one known for the brevity of breeze. Anyway, listen, I'm tired, but I'm good tired. I'm good tired. I've been very productive over the past couple of weeks to the point where I have to be mindful of the balance. You know how easy it is to lean so heavily into what it is you're doing that you end up depleting your resources now.
Yeah.
Right, so when stopping long enough to eat something or to watch an episode of Blackish or Grownish just for the little 20-minute takeaway now. And then you find your mind still on the work. So you know the part where it does ask you to skip intro? Yeah, by the time you reach that part, you're ready to go back to work. Yeah, it indicates that I might be losing my balance a little bit. But being mindful of it, I'm going to take this step. That's a little bit. All right, cool. Thanks. But I'm going to take these steps to make sure that I don't run off the rails. So tired, productive, and aware that are getting close to the guardrail.
Nice, man.
Oh, I'm mad though. I'm mad. Like, you know what? We don't have a guest, so I could go level 10 today.
Remember this, how are you? There's no wiping your feet or hanging your hat, huh?
I'm also very saddened. I'm burdened is the right word to use. Because we've been doing that kind of work for a couple of years now, and while I see that we're making some progress, that we shifting the needle a little bit, or at least doing our part to shift the needle, you're still seeing too many incidences that highlight how important what it is we're doing really is. So I'm burdened a little bit, but I guess we could get into that with the wiping our feet. How are you doing, Mr. Williams? I see you had an action-packed weekend based on your Instagram stories.
Boy, I think I share the same sentiment with you. That I'm tired, but the good tired. And allow me to be transparent with the listeners to understand why. For the past 2.5 years, while the entertainment sector was in its down period, right? I put in a lot of work behind the scenes, right? Working on developing my brand, owning my craft, and as well as networking. Because your network is your net worth, right? Yeah, I was saying all them Instagram thing.
Right.
Yeah.
In the thing and them.
Yeah, in the thing and them, right? So I've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes. And since the entertainment sector has fully reopened, I must say I've been blessed with the opportunity to work almost every weekend, right? So I'm tired, but I'm thankful because the work which I put in, that foundation work to reposition myself, to retool and retrain, is now showing benefits, right? I think that's the best way to sum it up.
Yeah, good. I'm not complaining about the level of productivity that is required of me at the moment.
Yeah,
I'm not complaining. If it's one thing, I'm grateful.
Because it has some we hear and we see via these different social media platforms. A lot of persons are complaining that, oh, my work is so much, and we are not neglecting or deflecting in any way the burden that sometimes a job puts on you, right? But if you put in the work to get to that position that you have toiled towards, sometimes that position requires a certain amount of output.
You see, I could also understand the frustration of doing something important, maybe even doing something I care about, and still having to navigate how difficult it is to do it.
Yeah. And notice as we're not negating the difficulty here, but if you're putting the work to get to that position, guarantee don't mean that the work stopper.
You're kind of making a presumption that people put in the work to get to the position. So.
Hey, you're trying to put that there's a level of nepotism in the society today.
Listen, I'm not arguing that, because according to you, your net work is your net worth. So you can't say that on one side and then have a problem with nepotism. At the end of the day, who you know is as important as what you know.
What you know, yeah. Sometimes even more.
Right. The premise is just remember, at least I try to remember that there was a point in time where I was hoping to get to where I am. So the same way that I'm hoping to get to other levels, if I'm not mistaken, Zechariah, I think, said it, that if you get, or Jeremiah, anyway, I'll double check. If you get tired running with men, how you expect to run with horses?
Something came up, just popped in my head when you were saying that,
Once is not a vessel.
No.
Go ahead.
Why would you think that?
No, I mean, you say something pop in your head. I didn't know if it was. Anyway, go ahead, sir. This is me actively listening.
No, actually forget when you talk up. Yeah.
It popped in your head. Something popped in your head.
Yeah, no, but with everything else, I just forget.
So you have a one-track mind.
Remember getting old enough. So
we did it last year on the charts.
Yeah, this is my last year on the charts. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. That it's no coincidence that 40 on the charts is 36 and 4. So if I was to re-enter the charts from the beginning, 40 different, 40 different. 40 different.
Nah, but
don't try to remember,
No, I wasn't going to try to. I was actually going to raise another point. One thing I must say is that we talk about, you're speaking about it earlier, the balance in life, right? You jokingly spoke about the fact that from, I think, January to July, you had as much roti as you did in the entirety of August thus far.
Yeah.
Right? And I jokingly said that's about the balance in life. But when we are growing up, we are taught that the balance in life is to have a good career and make money. But that's the furthest from the truth. And I'd ask Ricardo if you could pop up picture. I don't know what side we're on.
Yeah, pick a side. I'll yeah, that good. Yeah, there. Yeah, no, next week. Yeah, that. Yeah, right there.
You pop up picture right here. That life is about balance. It's about the career. It's about the money. It's about the rest. It's about taking care of your health, your family, your friendships and relationships. It's all about balancing all those things to have a successful life.
You know, you didn't mention spiritual balance there, but here the catch. If you do have an alignment,
I'm not gonna say that thing that's understood. Huh?
No, well, we do assume to be understood. That's problematic. Now, just saying that it is, if you do have balance in the things that I mentioned there, your spiritual alignment will let you know. It
Very
will let
true.
you know.
Very, very true. You ready to hang some hats this week?
Aaron, you know what? Let's hang some hats. Let's hang some hats.
I want to go first.
Sure.
And I want to hang my hat to one Damian Melville. For, I think, the past 2 years, I've worked with him on, I think, either 4 of his children's shows or 3 or somewhere around there. I've worked on more than 2, so I could say I could confidently say I work on more than a couple.
Right.
Right? And
Damian,
yeah. And Damian has been putting together these shows with some young, talented people. This weekend, the highlight for me was the McDonald family. From old, well, I can't even say old, because a lot of them young. From young to youngest.
Yeah.
Was there. And I can't remember the young lady's name, but she sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Here now. Yeah, I know you didn't hear that song since primary school, and that was like however long ago for you.
Maybe not primary school, but I get what you're saying. It's been a while.
It's been a while. And when I heard that song, it made me remember my initial days in choir.
Right.
In primary school. And she was probably... I'll send you the Instagram clip, Ricardo. It warmed my heart.
Yeah.
And to see her, well, she didn't command the stage, but she stood there and she delivered. And also, Zachary. Sorry, no, my bad. Wrong Z. Zedon. That's with an X, right?
Okay. So the wrong Z is with an X.
Yeah, wrong Z is with an X.
Yeah.
That. Right? Zedon Darius.
With an X, not an EX.
No.
Okay, all right, cool.
Right?
Look, the man started hitting Michael kind of thing.
Yeah, X. We'll see X. Right. Sorry. Yeah. And watch it. That man is a superstar. I can't call him my boy. That man is a superstar at the age of 6.
Why you rushing it? Let the man live now.
But you know what I love the most about it? After the performance, you saw this childish side of him. That boy did not sit still.
All right, I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did not sit still. He ran up and down the studio, up and down the station. He harassed Kenny. He harassed the mother. He harassed everybody. So amidst all the talent he has, you're still seeing the childish enthusiasm.
All right, nice, man.
And according to the people who were in the studio lastly, he could teach Kenny a thing or two about commanding a stage.
Yeah, no, I'm going to reserve my comments on Mr. Philip.
Good. Again,
Uncle Kenny.
That is what was said.
You're quoting.
Yeah, quoting.
Oh, all right, cool.
Auntie Patsy said that.
Yeah, because once we quoting somebody in this particular context is not our position or opinion.
Yeah.
Right. So we in the whole satire commentary level of the thing. All right, cool.
Big up Auntie Patsy.
Big up Auntie Patsy.
Right. You gotta hang your hat?
Yes, to the winners of the 26th edition of the Goodwill Swim Meet with 1,442 points, Trinidad and Tobago.
Serious?
Yes, sir.
Our athletes are continuing to show off.
I mean, and you know what I like about it? I'm seeing it happening in arenas where we have a little history, but it's not necessarily what one would call our mainstream sports now.
So it is not the traditional track and field.
I mean, is aquatics, right?
Yeah.
It's swimming. You know, and if you remember, just recently we deal with a case in some track and field too.
Yeah,
But,
we did.
you know,
cycling.
cycling is making some noise again. What I mean is, it's good to see that it's not just football and cricket now.
And I see Keyshawn win silver recently as well.
Yeah. So we still a thing. But you see, these are youths though. These Goodwill games, the Goodwill Meet is youths. So you're talking about a nice future, and for all the people who are complaining about why they're building a swimming facility,
Aquatic center.
where there's a right term for it, an aquatic center, it's starting to bear fruit.
And a cycling center.
It's starting to bear fruit. I wonder what would have happened if we'd maintain the cricket and football grounds, man. Anyway.
As you say, maintain cricket and football grounds, I jump in. I want to jump the gun here. And I want to wipe my 2 foot.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that the Manny Ramjan Stadium not open? A stadium that was only built 21 years ago is allegedly going to close its doors for poor infrastructure. All you know how much poor maintenance is something that irks me in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And to hear that and to see it firsthand over the weekend is even worse.
Well, I know even in terms of the car park and that type of thing, when you're making your laps on evenings or mornings when you're walking or jogging as the case may be, when you're making your laps around the stadium, there were parts that you either chose to avoid or use as cross-training because it's an obstacle course.
Right.
And if rain fall, well then, unless you're looking to do what is steeplechase, that one of the horses just be jumping and landing in the water and all them kind of thing. But people just be doing it too. Yeah.
People just do it in the Olympics.
Right. So unless it's steeplechase, you would have times you had to cut your lap short. So to hear that is saddening, but not unexpected.
You know, because I got into a conversation with some elderly gentlemen on Saturday, and they were talking about the fact that of our poor maintenance record, right? And the amount of money that we spend to build new stadium or renovate existing stadiums.
Yeah.
And it brings me back to a sore point in 2020 in the initial stages of the pandemic, when a group I'm affiliated with wanted to do a drive-in cinema in San Fernando in Skinner Park second class grounds. And protesters came out in formidable numbers, I must admit, to oppose the use of the facility for a drive-in cinema. Right. But when it got to the root cause of the issue, it wasn't because of the cinema. It's because they weren't consulted for the renovation works which is taking place to Skinner Park first class grounds. And when they get even further, is to understand that the ground cannot be used for any kind of international football matches because the direction of the field is not a FIFA standard.
Sense.
How?
Sense. Because when you really think about it, East-West definitely has advantages and disadvantages depending on what time you're playing.
If you don't believe us, ask Michael Maurice. Oh God, sorry.
Well done though. Well done. You know, I want to wipe my feet. Right now I want to get a centipede and wipe it on us. You see hope?
Us
now,
or us?
Us, the big us.
Okay, cool.
You see hope?
Opium?
No, the 7-year-old girl who
Oh.
found
in Santa Flora.
Yeah, Palo, that down there, yeah.
Down, yeah. Sorry.
Because it's literally off the path. So to hear neighbors saying that they contacted the CPU, the child protection unit, to intervene multiple times. To hear that we have another apparent case of mental illness expressing itself violently and fatally. It's years we having these conversations. Years we begging, we reaching, we pleading, we doing the work, we trying, we're trying, and we seeing people trying to, but it's still saddening to know that a young, innocent life was lost because of failing mental health. There are always mitigating circumstances. I'm not pointing any fingers, I'm not casting any blame. What I'm saying is that it is very saddening to be having these conversations, to see people have different priorities and attention until something dramatic happens, or until something happens close to home. So I just want to wipe my foot on us because we failed to protect another innocent. Another reflection of that, which ties into what it is we've been doing for the past 2 months, is you see them gunman and them who went and pepper the youths while they were playing football.
It's 2 months already?
Yeah, it's 2 months already. We doing Addressing the Violence.
Yep, since June the 21st we started, I don't know.
Alright. You see them gunmen who went and pepper the football.
What are you talking about?
We lost another youth to gun violence. Another one was shot in the leg because they come for somebody, they open up on everybody, and the man that they open up on was running in the same direction that these two youth men were running in. I think it's 8 and 11 years old. And the 8-year-old ended up getting struck in the head. And because of where the bullet is, the doctors were saying that they were not comfortable trying to operate. Another youth get shot in the leg. What I'm saying is that just last week we had a conversation about sport being our outlet and our expression and a way out of this type of thing. And look, men bringing it to the field too. So I'm wiping my foot on us because while we sitting down trying to address the violence with every and anybody who have something to say, I don't know if it's like it falling on. It's not that it's falling on deaf ears. I'm not saying that. But what I mean is to keep getting these reminders of why it is we have to have these conversations in the first place. Sometimes it just feel like a burden. What about men linemen in an establishment? Anyway, I could call it. It's in the papers. It happened. Men sitting in residence, and a man jumped the wall, and a couple men get hit, and one man get put on. And I'm not saying this callously, but what we're looking at really is that collateral damage as a term gone out the window. It don't matter where you're lineman, whether you're inside, whether you're going by the parlor at the end of the day, men closing the eye and pulling and squeezing. So though they got hers, but I had the point that when they asked me if to do something or go anywhere or to stop for a onesie, I had to count the cost. I can't. I don't know where you in and who has something with you, because you don't even have to be known to the police, It could be some man-o-man thing. It could be something at work. As a people, we expressing ourselves violently, and not just against the people that we have issues with. This thing, it passed out of hand. So, I'm wiping my foot on us. I'm not going to stop what it is I'm doing. I'm not going to stop having conversations. I'm not going to stop the mentorship. I'm not going to stop the work. I'm not going to stop any of it. But like this help could only come from the Lord, right? I listen, we will have a conversation that could change people's lives, Aaron. And I'm talking plain because you know what? For the hundreds and the thousands who would listen live on the radio, for the hundreds who might stay for the end of the program on YouTube, for the dozens who will go back and watch it, I'm real grateful, you know. But then you will see some complete 36ness and then have 10,000, 15,000, 25,000 likes and 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 shares. It's like, at the end of the day, we deserve us. I'm not saying that you have to sit down and immerse yourself in the heaviness of it all. But at the end of the day, our attention is so much on the distraction and the escape that just now it go have more hold on both. And our response could be to try wet fit. So you know what? Burdened. That's how I feel it. That would explain the tired and productive at the same time. I really mean to heavy the thing, you know, but sometimes you just have to put it out there because it's not all skin, teeth, and grin, and it's not all going to be okay. Sometimes you have to get up and do something.
You know, one of the biggest, and I use this term loosely, 4 quotes in the Bible is God helps those who help themselves.
Wait. Where is that?
And that's what I say, one of the biggest 4 quotes.
Four,
like
as
4
in
locks.
F-A-U-X.
UX, yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Right? Well, the actual quote is you may say to yourself, shucks, wrong runner quote. I have it written down on my paper here, right? I just had to scroll through to make sure I'm in the right one. Thus
Right.
says the Lord, cursed is the man who trusts in man and makes flesh his strength, whose heart turns away from the Lord. That's Jeremiah 17:5. Right? Guys, we have been asking, and I've asked the question here before, where is the IRO? If you don't know what the IRO is, that's the Interreligious Organization. Where is their presence in all of this? Because we'll call a spade because, as they say, Ricardo, it's in the papers, so we could talk about it. The amount of failed crime plans which our acting Commissioner of Police has put into place or not put into place. But we need to remember that as much as there's good, there's evil. So the fight needs to continue. Ricardo and I do our bit by having series like what we are having, because we just taken a break this week because I think we just have either 1 or 2 more episodes to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Right? We are doing our bit to address the violence. We ask you to do your bit because, as I think I said last week, it takes a village to raise a child, but apparently we are forgetting the I in the village. You have a responsibility to play to make things better. We have heard it said and asked on numerous occasions, if your child is working nowhere but he's coming home with $10,000 a week, where you getting the money from? Because I know my mother used to question where the pencil that not supposed to be in my pencil case come from. The values start from young. We spoke about it.
Yeah, last week, Randall was deliberate about the fact that part of his coaching procedure is to engage the parents in instilling some discipline at home.
Exactly.
Simple things. Make up your bed. Did you brush your teeth? Did you say your prayers?
Watch what your children be wearing. Because I have no shame in saying this. I just see my neighbor's son, who looks no older than the age of 8, walking around with 2 earrings in his ears, a do-rag on his head, one of those side strap bags, and a big winter coat in the hot sun. And the kind of things I hear him speaking about is unbecoming of an 8-year-old. But the last time that I corrected him, I was scolded.
Right.
I was doing my part in the village to raise a child, but I get scolded. Parents, understand that there are persons within your neighborhood, persons in your social group that are looking out for the best for your children. And not because your children, he's a good boy when he home and all. That don't mean when he walk out them four walls, he do be doing mischief.
Mm-hmm.
He do be pelting the neighbor dog. He do be thieving mango from by the neighbor. He do be thieving plum. Mind you, I'm not paying $20 a bag for plum, but that's a different story.
Yeah,
Anyhow,
the economics out of it.
Right? There are people that are looking out for the best interest for your children. Embrace it when they come to tell you something about your child. And I'm not saying just take it wholeheartedly. Yeah? You could go and ask your child as well. Have a conversation with them. Because remember, you are not raising children. You are raising them to be adults, to have a sense of responsibility, and accountability.
I hear you. I hear
that bottle.
No. I hear you.
Right?
What I thinking about though is they'll blame the teachers, they could blame the government, they could blame the police, we could blame politicians, we could blame the businessmen who bring it in, we blame everybody.
They won't blame I.
If you very rarely hear parents say, I coulda, shoulda, it is be everybody else.
Today I was reading an article on Twitter, right? Talking about the absent parent is as equally to blame as the wayward child.
That's a nice little article. If you could send it from my own perusal, of course.
Yeah, of course. I'll look for it and send it for you.
You know, I like to read now.
You know, I'm a Twitter person.
Hey, as I say, government. When I say a guava tree or a guava,
there's a guava tree outside my office.
you're serious?
But yeah, when I see a guava tree, when
Right.
I see a guava,
When last it bear?
a while ago, honestly,
Hey, we had.
probably in 2018.
I grew up with so much guava in the yard that we used to have to go and pick up rotten and bird pick guava and bag and throw away because, of course, it's fruit flies and all them kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
But I know guava. I could smell guava as I talking to you right now. And
guava is really a nice fruit,
guava, we used 2 bag of guava. And next thing you know is jam next week. Long I make a good old fashioned homemade, granny made, auntie made, neighbor made guava jam. Guava cheese, bae.
I was never a fan of guava cheese.
What are you talking about, bae?
I like a good guava chow though.
You know, hear the plan. You could keep the chow, and I could take the guava cheese.
No problem. I wasn't sharing chow.
Good to know that that's where you stand.
Because you look like a man that's put pepper in your chow, and I do eat pepper.
You don't eat pepper at all. Yeah. The sin in your heart is enough to, spice your palate.
He who is without sin cast the first stone, right?
You no longer easy I go up with Peter.
Big up Mr. Bernard and Branca.
Big up Mr. Allen, big up Mr. Alfonso, big up Mr. Ernie, Mr. Mufti, Mr.
There's another issue which I want to address in today's program, Ricardo.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a part-time patriotic paradigm.
And you make me come up with a P word. Anyway, go ahead. I'm listening.
Right?
Sorry, I know when I interrupt you, just lose your
train of thought. Trend of thought sometimes. But no, the part-time patriotic paradigm. Because we are 8 days away from the celebration of our 60th anniversary of independence from the British, right? You know, that famed day when we lowered the Union Jack for the last time and raised the red, white, and black. We have a name for the national flag?
You know, we might be onto something here,
Anyhow.
No. I'll put a pin in that. Go ahead.
Right? And the many stories that accompanied that day, which were so eloquently told by Sprangalang and relayed to me by our very own Kenny, right? It leads me to wonder, do we have a true sense of national pride in our country? Or is it that we just only think red, white, and black when we win something?
Nice. But here the catch, right? You talking about a name for the flag, and it even passed through Parliament that pan is our national instrument, or at least that was the talk that was circulating.
Because for Jareem Richards to have to ask for the national anthem to be played in the pan version at the Commonwealth Games, all of a sudden, then again we start to talk about, hey, pan is we thing. But then again, last year, I think it was when one Michael B. Jordan tried to trademark a rum called Juve, and we kicked up a fuss. But yet still, I saw a picture in a grocery in America of a juice called Calypso.
Calypso,
but it's not a problem.
Big up Brass Commander for always keeping the ear to the ground.
All year. Why is it that we are only patriotic part-time? We only patriotic and I'm counting it on one hand. I might even need my full hand. We patriotic for independence, and we patriotic when we win something, and we patriotic between Boxing Day and Ash Wednesday. And we ain't even that patriotic between them because still have people who don't want to hear we music then. So it's 2.5 times for the year we be patriotic, if so much. And that's our next thing, because I'm going to put it out there again, because I'm nothing but transparent with the listeners on WAC 90.1 FM and those who also tune in when we load it to YouTube after, right? I have made a conscious decision that my culture is more important than just fitting. So next year for Carnival, I am going, once Kenny takes me along, you know, I had to ask.
Right.
Once Kenny takes me along, Pan Trinbago and Tuco shows, I am going and not fitting.
Right.
Because it is a disgrace. Now, again, I'm not going to say that I never went to, because I did attend that fete. Right? Me and I'm no free advertising.
Right.
I did attend that fete for years. By years, literally 2.
Right. That's more than one.
Yeah, more than one. The bare minimum to say years.
Right.
Right? Next year, going back Panorama. Because it is a disgrace that you have taken the younger generation away from the pan because you couldn't do it how you wanted to do it on the greens.
Hey, I rebuke that by shouting out, hanging my hat, round of applause, salute, standing ovation, raise the flag, whatever it is we had to do. You see Joshua? You see Chakari?
Right, here now.
You see what them fellas doing? And big up man like Donadoni and thing too, because he doing it with the violin.
I'm say the instrumentalist on the whole.
There's a pianist, the young lady on the piano.
Johanna Chakari.
What you doing, man?
As in musical family.
That's what going on there?
Yeah, that's your ancestor.
You see, right? You can learn something. You can learn something. I taking that.
As you mentioned, I really want to big him up. I want to big up Joshua Ricardo, especially today, because we had him on the show before and we spoke of his tarnishing. We
catch him before he turned the corner. Yes.
The tarnishing that he's a lazy boy. But that lazy boy has gotten the younger generation like himself and even younger and some older to enjoy pan.
And
this man had a birthday party last week, Ricardo.
Yes, I noticed from your Instagram stories.
Right? This man had a birthday party last week. It was like a fete. People of all ages were there. to listen to steel pan being played. Well, and obviously normal music. But he did the live taping of a show as Independence Mix Day. So you could look out for that on Independence Day.
Nice, man.
But the younger generation is doing the work to say and show us that our culture is cool. But yet still, the bodies, the statutory bodies, and I use that term very strictly, ain't being statute at all.
You know, you can't be statutory. That's the term you call?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're not a statute.
Well, as you're talking statues, I think it's also time that we get rid of some of the statues that we have in our country.
I believe they should be removed from public. They should not be landmarks and that type of thing. I believe we should historically document these things, put them in a museum,
in something like a museum
or something like that, right? But I'm also for the idea of renaming certain streets in celebration of our progress. However, there was a good point that someone made about erecting plaques with reference to the history as to the former name of the street and why it was renamed. So we're not removing the history.
So like you can say Rashoti I Street, formerly Short Street.
Right. And in the event is named after somebody who was probably a rapist and a murderer and a slave owner and a slave breaker.
I'm gonna call her name there, sorry.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, in the event that is your legacy, we're not celebrating it, but we're not trying to erase it either.
Yeah.
We will record it, but we will also uplift those who have done work.
Yeah.
Despite that history.
Yeah. Because remember we were having a debate sometime recently, Ricardo, about canceling an artist because of their criminal record.
Right.
But that doesn't negate the quality of the work that they put out.
No, that I will leave up to the individual to decide.
Yeah, no, I'm going to say everybody has their own thing, because I recently heard last week on Twitter, a certain male young artist was trending because he came out and he identified a certain way, and everybody all of a sudden don't want to ask if we could talk anymore.
Oh, serious?
Yeah.
You call a man young?
Well, when he sang that song, he was young.
You know what you're talking about is 25 years ago.
Plus.
Anyway.
And again, we have some announcers on this station that is called itself Young Stillers.
So. We start the episode talking about mental health.
Sorry,
what I am saying, right, is...
I forget our Pekong parlance also permits us from actively pursuing proper mental health. Yeah.
Facts. But we turning 60. We turning 60.
Oh shucks, no, 65, my bad.
If they keep it up. Anyway, what I'm seeing is that we've made progress as a nation, right? But it has so much room for improvement and so much work to be done. I'm not going to come down, but I'm definitely I don't feel like I could put on the work.
Blind eye.
I can't put on the work long enough to congratulate myself for where we reach when this is where we at.
You still have plenty of work to do, and I think one of the things that should be to the fore of the statutory bodies and the government, right, is that we need to work on instilling a sense of national pride. We need to bring back the copybooks that had the pledge behind it.
Yeah, I think they take out the pledge and they put Excel shortcuts.
Why? Anyhow, that's right. We need to get back to knowing the pledge, the national prayer, the anthem. The first word is not fudge.
Facts.
It is forged.
Facts. You know, when you're early,
we need to learn that the watchwords of our nation. Where's the watchword, Ricardo?
You'll cuss.
I'm here.
No, I trying to remember your fourth watchword.
That's actually
Subsidies.
Subsidies, yeah.
Yeah.
Discipline, tolerance, and production are the
Subsidies.
watchwords. Subsidy, well, I fondly say that subsidies, and here for the comments is the next two, right?
I remembered what they were. I was just trying to remember the word for subsidy. All I was thinking about was susceptible.
Right? And on the national motto, together we aspire, together we achieve. And then you leave out the next part, that Chinese laundry, sing together we eat some bread and cheese. So sing the music. You don't remember that?
Now all I hear is jump up, pun up.
But again, let's not forget the role that some of these persons have played in also diminishing our culture. But they could make a turnaround.
Yeah, now we're going to say, let me not take redemption off the table. I mean, I remember going to a House of Mali concert for independence.
You was one of them?
I went and I had a ball. The concert
I should cancel you.
The concert itself, in terms of the production of the event, was utter trash. Utter trash. You see that concert culture in Trinidad and Tobago, so the things that people do paying patrons and call it an event, it is
like tell the people that you can't bring ice and chaser in your cooler. But sell a bag of ice in your fed for $25 or $40.
Utter trash. But
don't get me started, you know.
The performances though. But listen, my issue with Trinidad and Tobago is I find concerts were charging people money for substandard presentation, so I stopped going. I find clubs shouldn't have people lining up and charging them based on the complexion, so I stopped going. The thing is,
the club name that is like the tree that
it was no one. It was no one. That was a culture that reproduced and permeated. What I'm saying is
the one that took how much of a degrees to?
Jen, I talking about right down here in South. That shippiness was going on. Right?
You serious? Well, club and culture probably changed between your clubbing days and mine, yeah?
Perhaps. But all I'm saying is that
but then again,
when I have a problem with something, I just stop supporting it.
But then again,
people supporting.
I'm not going to say that because
so don't continue.
I tweeted last week when I saw a certain promoter put that they can't bring ice and chaser in your cooler. And all we will see afterwards is the complaints the day after about how much the bag of ice was for. I'm looking out for it. Come in, go in.
We like it so. I feel I'm convinced that we deserve us.
To quote Iowa George and Ziggy Rankin on the Coconut Tree Rhythm, we like it. Wine.
Listen, I think one of the greatest entertainment industry and cultural injustices I've witnessed was stage gone bad. Not winning enough.
Stage gone bad then, man?
I don't think it won. Or the year it would have won, it had no carnival, correct? That's what happened.
You sure? No, that won.
Stage not good again.
Stage gone bad won in 2020, I think.
Wait, tell him nobody. The last carnival. Google it.
Because I think the joke was the fact that. No, let me not say that joke.
Oh yeah, the year that he won, he couldn't tour. That is the injustice, right?
Not just that, the year that he won was the year that everything went bad.
Well, the stage not good again.
Exactly. But again,
but he won, right? He won.
Yeah, he won. Yeah, he won in 2020.
Yeah.
I think that was Kyle. Kyle won that road match. So
Kyle could box with them now.
Kyle actually have more road matches than Kenny.
So is Kenny can't box with them? No, Kenny have uncredited, you know.
Yeah, he have uncredited road matches.
We spoke.
Yeah, we spoke
at length about that. That's the next thing. When we name a street in South after Kenny.
When Kenny get a national award.
I think we should do both. There's two things I want to petition, right? You know what? I think that's not a bad cause to pick up, you know. Why Kenny never get a national award and why it have no street in South named after him?
You know, you could call it Kenny Phillips Street, like Coffee Street. Change it to Kenny Phillips Street.
Is there a Kenny Avenue? Oh no, there's a Kenneth Avenue.
Yeah, Kenneth Avenue.
It have two Kenneth Avenue that I know about.
Yeah.
We need a Kenny Street.
Okay. Well, low let him hear that, because yeah.
Okay, give him a little coolie sack self now. Even if it's a dead end, you know what I mean?
Nah, don't give him a dead end, please.
Well, no, a fancy dead end. A fancy dead end. As I say, a coolie sack, so it paved and yeah, you know, so you could turn and drive out and sure and could play the little football and thing in the Kenny coolie sack. Kenny Lane, Kenny Tree. Now, don't get him on no trees. But
I you know, two people that I think deserve national awards
besides us, go ahead.
Well, that's like 3 or 4 years down here.
3 or 4 years, ambitious. Yeah.
Kenny Phillips, Cynthia Limac, Junior Bisnath. Had one other person who's
I'd say 2 on counting to 4. Now I like you. Double vision. 2020, 30, 40, 50. Aaron, we have some things to discuss about what we're gonna do with this program for the next season, you know.
Yeah, but you know, it only hit me, Ricardo, that how much videos it is in this playlist, right?
40, I think we do
42
out of the 52.
We have 7 more videos to go to hit the big 50 since we have gone to visual.
Yep. Right? Some of them did very well. Some of them not as well. But at the end of the day,
they're still there.
Yep.
Right. And also, you know, as we're talking about big things coming, remember next week, Tuesday, as soon as we finish here inside the living room, we're heading to the Naprima Bowl for red, white, and whack. Right? You'll get to meet Ricardo. He'll be outside greeting you all as you come in.
And charging all you for anything I could charge for. Sorry, I'm watching too much Blackish and I think I like Charlie.
Yeah. Right? And Ricardo will be outside and I will be on stage. I am actually the DJ for the evening. So you'll be serenaded by my lovely mixing, which I think I find. I hear the song good.
You have a decent enough voice too, you know, just a little short.
No, Kenny's the host.
Oh, now I was talking about the serenading part. You could, I figure out a little training, but you had to hold it with both hands though. What,
yeah, of course.
Well, I want to know, Aaron, and we're gonna go to social media with this one, but if we had to name our national flag, what the name would that be? We could drop that post.
We'll post that tomorrow and later on for the week.
And
announce it next week, Tuesday.
Yeah. Nice.
That's actually a real good thing. But also, I want to know if you had to pick a national song, like one song, and not Mavis John, God Bless Our Nation.
Chutney Bacchanal. Chade. Burke Jade. Listen, if it have people know more about Chutney Bacchanal than know about the anthem. I just saying.
Jade, and G.
I don't know what.
Jade,
you had to take another listen. Your song a little. Anyway, but
you know what? I have a video of him singing it acoustic.
I will take that.
Yeah, I look for it on Instagram. I really laugh when I hear that word. Big up Chris Garcia.
By the way, we passed the point of perilous proximity, yeah?
Oh, okay, no problem. But let me go first this week now.
Sure.
Right? This weekend.
But you had to say a thing though.
Just now, wait. We are now perilously close to the hour of 7 p.m. here in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know what time it is where you are, but I'm glad to know you're locked on to the true nation station, WACK 90.1 FM, all right? Before I close, this weekend, I was booked to play at an event called Love in the House. It was an event where they didn't play any zest, bad man music, power soca. The nexus of the event was that it was positive and uplifting music, right? I want to commend the promoters of that event for doing that. It was fun, and I woke up Monday morning with no voice. That is how much I sing. Right? With that being said, I always say that love is the currency, so spend some today. Let somebody know that you love them, guys, because they could be here today and they are not here tomorrow. Right? This is yours truly, DJ Aaron 868. I'm always great and I'm never late. You can catch me in Tobago this weekend. Yeah.
When you going across?
Saturday morning.
Nice, man.
Yeah, Saturday morning. I'll see if I could get some red mango this time.
Yeah, they now. Yeah.
Yeah. And as I go on, big up Man U. We actually win our game.
Serious?
Yeah.
Not bad.
We beat Liverpool yesterday.
That is what happened?
Yeah, boy.
Well, at least only win when it counts. Yo, this is yours truly, Ricardo Mitchell, the social stage and the local stage. I want to acknowledge the difficulty that some people would have had yesterday evening, and in fact, a lot of the country having regarding the flooding. And not yesterday, this past couple of days, the flooding that has been going on. I know, let me put it this way, I know there were people who were coming up to Loveny House and could not cross.
Yeah, boy.
Guapo?
Yeah, because Damien and them, they were up the road. And they were talking about how much trouble it would have been to get home.
Yeah, I think it went down. At least the back roads, it receded after a while. But what I'm saying is listen, we're in a tough season, you know. We're in a tough season. Don't let the posts of people fetting and liming and knocking about fool you. We're in a tough season. Things happening, right? Wanna bless up Loveny House. Would have been irresponsible of me to come. I have a little bit of a runny nose, sniffle, scratch throat, and I was wondering what was going on. I tested negative, but again too, you can't be sneezing and thing into a mask. It proves to be very uncomfortable. Good job, kudos. At the end of the day, love is the currency, spend some. Really appreciate what you guys did. Well, I'm not gonna bite your whole line, I'm going to make allusion to it. And plain talk bad manners. Jed, we gotta continue trying, you know. This is the country that only making sure to grow up in. This is the country that you're starting business in. This is the country that you're going to leave them with. This is the country that at the end of the day, what's your mark? What's your legacy going to be? What's your impact going to be? What are you gonna do with the time that you had here? Anyway, remember guys, the hourglass is opaque. We don't know how much time remains, so whatever you're doing, be good and stay safe. Alright. In the event, I was not gonna say in the event, at the end of the day, time is not ours. So happy 60. But yeah. God willing, we'll be able to tell it that for ourselves.
Yeah. In the words of Dr. Leroy Calise as a Black Stallion, we could make it if we try just a little harder.
Mr. Desmond?
Yeah, he up next. Yeah.
Right here.
And remember, I think next week Desmond has Lady Soul as well down at Athletes, alright? So you can check that out as well.
Nice, man. And my vote for national song going to be Dingole. If we not going to get Chutney Bacchanal or Dingole.
Really? That's what you're going for?
Or Show in Winchester, Kila is a big tune. You know, Don't Stop is also a real big tune.
I know you're Show in Winchester's #1 fan.
Well, not #1, but I'm pretty certain I'm in the top 5. Sure.
I think my vote for national song would go with David Rudder, Ganges and the Nile.
I mean, sure, go for the obvious. It's just you start to sing Chutney Bacchanal, everybody gonna sing along.
A woman coming from India. She loves this so much. Want me sing a verse in Hindi? You grab hold on my guitar, then start to deliver, and this is what it sounds like to me. And this is what it sound like, jamming on me all night. This is what it sound like to me. Jade, and Jade, and Jade, and G. Rick Jade. Yeah, oh, there we go. We go. Ring one start to fall now.